Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to request a bill introduction here in the Ways and Means Committee, and then I will ask leadership to assign the bill to Agriculture. And as Chair of Agriculture, then I will plan to move it forward. But it is an act concerning the Department of Wildlife and Parks, requiring legislative approval for any major changes in the structure or organization of Wildlife and Parks. The RS is 3520.
Without objection, anyone object? Seeing none, we'll accept that. Anyone else? I have one bill to introduce, RS 3232, has to do with local sales tax issue for Sheridan County. Without objection, I'll introduce that one. Committee, we have minutes. Everyone's had a chance to look at theirs. We'd like to, Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from January 13th, 14th, 15th, 20th, 21st, and 23rd of 2026.
We have a motion. We have a second. Senator Peck seconds. Any questions or discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Committee, we will continue our work from yesterday. Today, we will start out with Human Services. We'll have the Parsons State Hospital and Training Center. Senator Owens.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have anything on Parsons. I have a couple of provisos on KDADs.
Okay. Anybody else have anything on Parsons? Seeing none, we'll move on to the Kansas Neurological Institute. Anyone have any changes on that one? Seeing none, we'll proceed on to the Larner State Hospital. Anyone have any changes or anything? Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When we received the Budget Committee report for fiscal year 27, there was an add of $10 million for contract staff expenditures. They already have money that will be in the fiscal 27 budget for contract staff to the tune of about $25 million. I understand that they have an issue in getting staff hired. There are two things here. One, it gives to me the appearance that we don't have the confidence that they can fill this position, and it begs the question of what are we going to do about this situation with Larned. This is getting more and more expensive, but I'm going to make a motion to strike, and this is in the Budget Committee report on page 5, number 1, adding that $10 million. Now, Mr. Chairman, when we come back next session, we'll be only halfway through. So if indeed it is proven to this committee and the legislature that they need this additional $10 million, we can add it back in. But I don't want to just add it in now because it, like I say, just sort of says, well, we know we're not going to be able to get the people hired. I want them to try harder to hire individuals that would be not contract labor, but would be on the regular payroll. So that's my motion to delete that, subtract that $10 million state general fund for contract labor. Again, they still have some $25 million for contract labor, so we're not cutting them off entirely, but just making certain that we don't put too much money out there.
And that's in year 27?
27.
Okay. We have a motion by Senator Peck. Do we have a second? Senator Erickson seconds. Questions and discussion? Senator Owens.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'm just going to go into maybe a little bit more context in how the subcommittee arrived at that number. So the agency has on average spent over the last 3 or 4 years about $50 million in contract nursing in Larned. There's no question that it is excessive, it's abusive. There's no doubt that the state's being taken advantage of. But having only had the opportunity to be chairman of this budget for about 4 weeks now. I have not had the opportunity to come up with a solution to that problem yet. That is something I definitely want, and I certainly have some ideas that I'm continuing to work on to address that. The agency came to us with the request in 2027 of $32 million, plus the 25 to get to 57, recognizing they're spending on average around that number every year. We as a committee chose to pare that back for a very similar reason to what the senator had suggested, to the $10 million from 32.8. That was certainly not a unanimous decision on our committee, but it was a decision recognizing that that will put them at 35, which is still significantly short of the mid-50s that they've been spending every year, in hopes that, one, some of the bonus plans and things like that that they have instituted will do better, and two, that was some of the additional ideas that are in the works might make that better, but still with the exact same expectation that they come back here next year and request that. Finally, the final thought was, by the time we do pass the 27 budget, it's usually around March, right? Becomes law. So we were thinking of funding it for about 3/4 of the year, not just half of the year, which is what Senator Peck, I believe his motion would do roughly. So just so you know that is our thought. I'm going to oppose it because I feel that the subcommittee has done good work in this area, but I respect the thought and the consideration and don't necessarily disagree. It's just that we don't have a solution yet. And I'd love nothing more than, there was a proviso last year to just not fund contract nurses at all. And if that would work, we should have done it a long time ago. But unfortunately, CMS and others don't allow that to happen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Peck, do you want to respond, or?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the things that Chairman Owens said, and I guess the only thing different, it sounds like he agrees with me 95%, which is better than sometimes because we can't get any agreement. But in any event, by reducing this, somehow we've got to get the attention of Larned State Hospital that the legislature is not happy with contract labor. And if they feel that there is a good chance, I don't know if there is or not, that'll be up to the next legislature, but if they feel there's a good chance that they will only have half the money, I believe that they will put forth a little more effort to come up with employees or make some type of adjustments or come to the legislature with some recommendation. So again, it's just designed to have a little bit bigger hammer than giving them some. So it'll be up to the committee, of course, but that's $10 million that we could have. Looks like we're spending less than 27, and we are, until we change it next year. So again, Senator from Harvey did a great job of laying things out, but I guess I'm a little more of a disciplinarian than what he is.
Other questions or discussion? Senator Petty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm opposing this this proviso. I was a dissenting vote in the subcommittee, and I would say, Larned has repeatedly over the last few years brought forth suggestions for how that they can work to increase their state employees, and they have made small improvements. We will be opening a hospital in Wichita, and that could have a somewhat of an impact there. But to portray it as if there aren't efforts being made, I think is a big disservice to the agency, and the fact that they are working tirelessly to look for ways to keep their state employees, to offer incentives so that they do not leave and become contract employees. And then another challenge that's has come about that we just, I guess I should say I learned in the presentations, is that now the contract agencies are offering benefits. So that even becomes another of a challenge. I had, I was going to offer an amendment to to actually offer the full $32 million that they were asking for, because this 10 million is not going to meet it. So to act like somehow, hey, if we don't put if the money's not there, then then angels are going to come down from heaven and become the nurses that we need at Larned is not good management by the state of Kansas. So I oppose this proviso. I think we should be supporting the agencies to continue to work on efforts to attract and keep employees. And one way would be doing away with Tier 3 and capers.
Other questions, Senator Cluse?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Not really a question, just I will be opposing this amendment. I think that the 10 million, keeping that there, be a wise decision, because we also don't want to create a thing where people aren't coming and applying. And so I think taking a look at it, we've got time, as Senator Owens had mentioned, and we had quite a bit of discussion on this, so thank you.
Any other discussion? Senator Alley?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My understanding is the FTEs that we have approved and the FTEs that we have actuals are pretty good spread. I'm not sure exactly what it was. I don't remember what it was from last year. However, last year we passed legislation that said if you don't fill those FTEs, then that money comes back. Could that money then be used to fund this $10 million or whatever the number was?
Senator Owens?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So certainly it could. So that was SB 125 from last year, Section 149, and I only know that because I have a proviso to fix it and to do it again this year. Because what that will do is on June 1st, they will actually count any part or whole FTE that was not filled, and that associated funding would lapse back into SGF on June 30th. So in essence, because this is coming out of SGF and that would be going into SGF, same difference, but yes, that is what will happen in the event there are unfilled positions.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye? Opposed? No. Motion fails. Next, we will, is there anything else for Larner State Hospital? Any other provisos? Seeing none, we'll move on to Osawatomie State Hospital. Any changes? Seeing none, we'll move on to South Central Regional Mental Health Hospital. Changes on that? Senator Petty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a proviso. So, Mr. Chairman, what you're looking at there was actually a typo that occurred. It's that 43 should be 39 million. That's is what it takes to open up the South Central Mental Hospital in Wichita, and So I am recommending that we fund that full amount instead of the recommendation that was made by the subcommittee. um, Of 22 million. I'm sorry, it should be 30.9 million, that figure should be. That's the full amount that's needed for opening the doors. In our subcommittee, there was discussion about this, and that the fact that, they may not open on time, but we can guarantee that if we don't fund it, they won't open on time, because they won't be able to hire the staff and have it ready to go. And it plays into the conversation that just went before about Larned. So the legislature has been committed to funding the South Central Regional Mental Hospital. It seems that we should be committed to finishing out. So that figure should be 30.9.
Senator Owens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Did you want to get a second on, or I guess there was no motion, so we can discuss it.
Okay.
That'd be great. So, Mr. Chairman, I will say, very similar to what I said for Senator Peck's motion that was going the other direction, we took the exact same approach when it came to funding the South Central Mental Health Hospital. The idea that they do request $45 million to fund it for 3/4 of the year, assuming that it opens October of '26 as planned. But there's also not only the assumption that it's going to be opened on time, there's an assumption made that all 300+ employees are going to be on staff on that very day, at that very time, to make sure that this is funded. And so what we chose to do as a committee, and remember, it's important to know that there's already 15 million sitting in that fund waiting to be utilized, is to only add another 20 million to get them to 35 million of the 45 million. Let's have them come back here. Let's make sure that they're open. Let's make sure that they're staffed. Let's verify that they're spending what they need to spend, because anybody that's done financial statements before can attest to the fact that never is a financial statement that you're producing for a future expectation correct. They're all assumptions and assessments, and it's prudent financial, it's a prudent decision to ensure that we're only funding what they need and making sure and validating their numbers when they come back. So I stand certainly opposed if this becomes a motion.
Okay, Senator Petty, would you like to make your motion? I should have done that.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I make my motion to put in 30.9 million for the South Central Regional Mental Hospital.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Senator Holscher seconds. Any other questions and discussion on the 30.9 million? Senator Petty.
So I will just say that, as I said earlier, by not funding, we can and guarantee that it won't be able to have the staffing it needs to be fully open. I think one of the really outstanding things is that this has been on time and on budget, and which is pretty phenomenal in and of itself, that it's moved ahead as it has so well. And the legislature has been committed to following through with the funding so that it could continue to happen. So it seems short-sighted on our part to not finish this out and fully fund it. So this would cover those costs so that it would open on time in October of 2026.
Any other comments or questions?
Just,
Senator Owens.
if I may, Mr. Chairman, just one last follow-up. 45 million divided by 4 gets you to 11.25. You multiply that by 3, gets you to 33,750,000. We're giving them 35 to start, recognizing we pass a budget with a quarter left in the fiscal year. So if they end up needing it, they can bring that to us and validate it. So the math actually maths in this equation, and so I would encourage the committee to not support this motion.
Senator Holscher.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the math and I follow that. I would mention, though, there are operating costs that are incurred before day one. I mean, the assumption is that all of a sudden we have, the change in the cost. But like I said, there's operating costs prior to that. The building has to be outfitted. You have to have utilities on and paid for. You have to have, onboarding of staff. Those are all things that have to occur. And, my concern is that we put those things in jeopardy by not doing better funding in this issue, because it'll be harder if we're scrambling later trying to get the funds that are needed. So that's where my concern rests, so I'll be supporting this. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion fails. Any other changes to the South Central Regional Mental Health Hospital? Seeing none, we will move on to Department for Aging and Disability Services. Changes on Senator Owens.
I do have a handful of provisos, and I know that there are other people that do as well, so we'll just go ahead and get started. Let's start top to bottom. The first one, if I could have the involuntary discharge proviso. While the involuntary discharge proviso is being handed out, I'll kind of start to explain it. Last year in the budget, there was language that required some reporting as it relates to involuntary discharges from our nursing facilities. Obviously, an involuntary discharge is exactly what it is. It takes somebody that is in the nursing home and puts them out of the nursing home involuntarily. While that proviso was in place, the data was not received by the interested parties. This further clarifies that not only will the information be received, it will also go to the long-term care ombudsman as well and ask her to provide a report to us. It will also go to those organizations that represent long-term care facilities, such as Leading Age and others, to ask them to present a report to us as well. This is a growing concern for many in our elder community, and ensuring that we have the data on involuntary discharges is very important, and that's what this proviso would do for 2027. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll stand for questions.
Would you make a motion, please?
Make a motion.
We have a motion. We have a second by Senator Cluse. Discussion. Senator Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So if I understood what you said correctly, you said that this information was supposed to be submitted and they did not. So is there any consequence to if they failed to report per this proviso?
Senator Owens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this actually makes it to where they now are a little bit more accountable. To say that there's consequence, I wish with a lot of provisos and language we could add consequences for state agencies for not doing the things that we ask. However, in this instance, it does make them specifically reportable to us with the expectation, and also the long-term care ombudsman, who will then be able to raise the alarms because that's why she's there, is on behalf of those patients. So I think it just adds some level of accountability, but to say that there are true consequences or penalties, there's not.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Other questions? Seeing no other questions or comments, all in favor, aye. Opposed, motion carries. Senator Owens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's bring out the proviso for Envision, please. So we took, as we have discussed previously in this committee, the Senate subcommittee took a no proviso approach to our subcommittee work this year. While maybe not conventional, it was intentional so that we had a better idea of where our spending was by the time we were done. In years past, we have supported Envision. Envision provides significant services throughout the state of Kansas for those that are blind and visually impaired. These are people that if Envision did not do the work that they do, they would end up in our state hospitals and being on the state Medicaid rolls and things like that in excess of where they are currently. So what this does is provides that expenditures in the amount of $600,000 shall be made by the above agency from the other state fee fund within KDAD's existing budget for the fiscal year 2027 for Envision and the work that they do.
That's your motion?
Make a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second by Senator Erickson. Questions or discussion? Seeing, oh, excuse me, Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick question. I think I've got the answer, but I want to, pardon me, clarify. This is fee funds?
Senator Owens.
That is correct. Instead of SGF, because this ultimately saves the Kansas Department of Aging and Disability money, I believe that the Kansas Department of Agency, they should be able to fund this through that fee fund that they have.
Other questions? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Senator Owens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two more. They are both pertinent for right now.
Okay.
These, again, have both been in the budget previously, and they're both provisos that impact MIR Incorporated. MIR is the largest substance use treatment organization in the state. They do a tremendous amount of work treating those with substance use disorders, getting them back in the workforce, taking care of their families and things like that. So the two provisos that are being handed out, and we can take them separately, but I'll just explain them together. The first one is $1.8 million in workforce development. What this does is this really equalizes out some of the challenges that MIR is having in balancing with the CCBHCs and their increased rate that they're able to pay, and losing employees because our Medicaid reimbursement rates are not keeping up. That's something I want to be able to address next year, but just simply didn't have time to this year. Second is the $5 million in increased block grant. This is something that we've done in between $4 and $6 million for the last few years. This is for individuals with substance use disorders that don't otherwise qualify through Medicaid for treatment, but provides reimbursement to these providers to help them get treatment for their substance use disorders. So I will make a motion. I suppose I'll make a motion first on the $1.8 million workforce program.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Senator Fagg seconds. Discussion. Senator Fagg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just wondering, Senator Owens, how did they arrive at the 1.8 million?
Senator Owens.
You know, I don't have, honestly, that level of detail. I know this was similar to the amount last year, and so I didn't ask for the additional detail again because we had passed it, but so I just rolled with it.
Other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Senator Owens.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion that we add the $5 million into the block grant for substance use treatment for those members that obviously qualify for the block grant, don't have access to Medicaid or other payer services for substance use treatment.
That's your motion?
That is my motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Senator Fagg seconds. Questions or discussion? Senator Petty.
Senator, that's not with MIR.
Senator Owens.
That is correct. This is not specific to MIR. This one is just the block grant. My apologies for bringing those together, but you're absolutely correct. This applies to every SUD provider.
Other questions for Senator Owens? Senator Peck.
So do we have a thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do we have a copy of, he just,
Senator Owens.
I'm just throwing money around. No, I was actually at the advice of the revisers that I throw money around, and they said since it is just a specific ask for block grant that I didn't need it in writing, or just to make the request for the money.
Senator Owens. Or Senator Peck.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll accept that insult as an insult, but in any event, so I apologize. State general fund money or?
Yes, this is state general fund money that goes directly into the block grant for SUD treatment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So it's no new money, correct? We did that last year?
We've done it for many years, actually, from $4 million to $6 million. We kind of split the baby and did $5 million this year.
Senator Fagg.
That answered my question because I didn't know what the dollar figure was.
Yeah.
Other discussion or questions? Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just on that last comment from the senator from Harvey, just because we've been doing it doesn't make it the right thing to do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I don't disagree. I just thought that I would mention that because it is not new money, and that does have an influence on some of the members, so. Senator Owens.
Just a quick follow-up. I would completely agree with that and have taken a very detailed look at the other spending throughout this budget and prioritize those things, many of which you will either hear a no from me today or they won't even be brought up today that have been past one-time spend. So I've only focused on the ones that I think are the most important. But I understand your concern.
Any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Senator Owens.
Mr. Chairman, I have one more, but that won't be ready until tomorrow. And so I will defer till tomorrow on the other one that I have.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have Senator Clues?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I have several. So, and let me start with this and just one, appreciate being the vice chair, a lot to learn, and I want to thank the chairman for helping me walk through the process, and it's been great, and I've been gleaning, learning from a lot of the other members, so I appreciate that. One in particular, I've learned to say no. He's taught me well, and hopefully with all the cutting that he was able to do yesterday, we'll be able to squeeze a couple of yeses out of him. But I do appreciate also our chairwoman from COGE who has worked hard and diligently and has given me a perspective I haven't had, Senator Erickson, that we do have to address the waste, the fraud, and the abuse and bring more accountabilities. Because as you know, funds are being taken away or stolen, it takes away from a lot of these projects that I would like to see us work through. And Senator Owens, and I could say something about everybody here, but I've gleaned from his articulation and his knowledge of being up here, and I appreciate that. And also finding a way to add to what Senator Erickson has been doing to bring that accountability, such as, and I'm going somewhere with this, so it's kind of a personal privilege, but such as, you know, when we appropriate money for certain things, like making sure we're feeding people that need food and the elderly, that it gets where it's supposed to go, and we'll have something that we've worked up. I think he's working. That may be the tomorrow thing. Okay. Well, that helps me out, and others. And I will say for my colleague Senator Petty, she has challenged me to dig deeper because she's asked a lot of questions that for someone new to this makes me dig. So thank you for that. Anyhow, I say all that to say I was up at 3 a.m. thinking through these, and I don't know if others do that, but seeing the faces of all the testimonies and the people that have come through here with these requests and how important they are. And so I about fell asleep, and then the phone rang, and I'm saying, so if I get a little jumpy and if I have to call on a friend, I may look at a few of you. I've been up since 3 a.m. Finding out that somebody burglarized our East store here in town. So I was dealing with that all night long and trying to get all this stuff together. And my boys showed up, Mr. Chairman, and they gave me the assessment of that. And the good thing is, to the employee that left the door unlocked, I was generous and didn't fire her. And I was also generous, realizing that the woman that broke into the store got through an open door and was just trying to warm up. So saying all that, I'm in a little bit of a generous mood this morning, and how we balance out the cutting, Senator, and yet do our due diligence in making sure we're taking care of the people and those that needs the agency. So with that, Senator, Mr. Chairman, sorry, thank you for that moment there. I'd like to start with my package.
Please do, Senator.
Thank you. Okay. So mental health is very important to me. I think you guys have heard this, and I have an amendment. And this one is going to be for the clubhouse and lottery vending. And I think I actually have copies of that. And in short, the ask for this and this proviso is to increase the lottery vending machine statutory cap from 8 million to 16 million, to expand and help with mental health. And these are not SGF funds, but what it will do is help strengthen both mental health crisis centers. 75% of those funds go there, and 25% to the clubhouse programs. And clubhouse is something that's nationwide. My father, before he passed, actually was very involved with that, and I think they're doing a good work. We've heard testimony from the group up there, and so with that, everybody get that? Okay. Well, with that, I make my motion.
I have a motion, a second by Senator Petty. Discussions, Senator Clinton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was curious on this. Is there any contractual obligations with lottery and folks, or is this post money that's come into the fund that is available to change the percentage on, if I was understanding it right?
Senator Cluse.
Can you repeat that question,
I would like to
Senator?
repeat that, Mr. Chair.
Senator Clinton.
Mr. Chair. So I was curious, is this, the money, and we're shifting a percent around, is there any contractual obligations that the state has with, or with the vendor? Just curious how that works, and can we just shift that percent to allow more funding to be available for this?
Senator Cluse. Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So my understanding is it will reduce the amount of monies that comes up. It's kind of hard to calculate that exactly right now, what goes into the sports wagering fund and with those contracts.
Senator Clinton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think it's just something to pay attention to. Thank you.
Other questions, Senator Fagg?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just when we say 16 million, and the way I'm reading this, it was 10 million. So we're increasing 6 million. Just wondered if you could comment on, that's a pretty good jump of that dollar figure.
Senator Cluse.
It is a little bit of a jump, and it's something that I believe that was even recommended when this was first heard on, I believe it came out of Fed and State. It's going to help them basically broaden their base and enhance what they've been doing and what they can do.
Other questions for Senator Cluse? Senator Alley.
Mr. Chair, on the page 2, under item G, one of the things that come to find out was there's a clause in there that says 2% of the remaining monies credited to the lottery operation fund from the sports wagering revenue deposited in the lottery operation fund shall be transferred by the Director of Accounts and reports from the lottery operation fund to the Problem Gambling and Addiction Grant Fund established by KC 794805. In the past, that fund has been used, and that money has not been used by the Problem Gambling Fund, but it's been used for mental health. And they've taken that money out of that area there and put it to mental health. If we're going to spend and increase this to 16 million, I would like to see some caveat on that 2% to stay with problem gambling. We've increased gambling in this state quite a bit over the last few years, and I think there's a problem with that, and I'd like to keep that 2% for problem gambling and not go back to mental health as it has been in the past.
Other questions? Senator Alley, I guess I would just, I would ask you, are you proposing to change the proviso to put language in for the problem gaming?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No, I'm not proposing to change anything. I want it to remain like it is, but I want it to be used for what it was supposed to be used for, and that is problem gambling. In the past, it's been swept out of that, and I'd like to keep it in. Since we're increasing the mental health and all that's above, let's keep that problem gambling fund at 2% like it was supposed to be done.
So you want to make sure that there's, I guess, additional language saying that it should not be swept to mental health and stay with problem gambling, correct?
That would be a suggestion, yes. Thank you.
Nothing.
Senator Alley, so I guess this would be a substitute motion to add language that says that the 2% remain with problem gambling and is not going to mental health. Is that what you're wanting to do?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's exactly what I'd like to do. And the language, I would leave that to our advisors, how they want to say that. But I don't think we need to change anything as long as we use it for what we're supposed to be using it for.
So do you have a particular? See if he has a particular amount. Couple of questions. Are you wanting this effective in 26 or 27? 27, okay. And do you know how much money we're talking about? I know it's probably a flexible number, but irregardless of the amount, you want it to stay there. It doesn't matter if it's a lot of money or very little money. You don't want any of it going to mental health. Is that correct?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was fortunate to be under Fed and State Chair and found out that this money had been swept a couple times. I'd just like to keep it where it belongs, and that's with problem gambling.
Okay, thank you. I don't know. Senator Owens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to add my support for this motion. I recognize, when we think about where this money is going to with the clubhouse funding and the work that it is doing for those in the IDD and PDD community. It is helping keep them off waivers, which are far more expensive. It is keeping them out of our mental health hospitals. These clubhouses really do a tremendous amount of good work. And so simply changing a cap to ensure that they have a dedicated funding source, I think is a really great thing that we can do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Petty.
I also am supportive of this amendment as it is. I did want to ask the question, so on what we have before, it doesn't change the distribution that's in place right now. It just increases the 8 million to 16 million. Isn't that correct?
Senator Cluse.
Yes, my understanding, yes.
Thank you.
Senator Peterson.
Just wanted to chime in on the problem gambling fund. And then for the sports wagering, it's 2% of the 10%, not 2% of the gross like all the other entities that gamble have to pay. So we do need to protect that. And I do support the motion.
Senator Alley. So this is a substitute motion to add to this bill. So would you like to make a motion to add the language that says it will not be swept, so it stays there in the problem gambling?
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the suggestion. I would like to make that motion that the money stays in the problem gambling and not be swept.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second by Senator Klemp. Any other discussion on the motion to add that language? Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be in support of that motion, and so thank you for that.
Any other? Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So procedurally, we are adding language to the proviso, and then we will vote on the proviso.
Correct.
Separately. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Right. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed, the motion carries. It's amended. Okay, Senator Cluse, you want to make a motion on yours?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I would move that we would accept the original proviso as amended. And with that, wait for a second.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Senator Owen seconds. Questions on the amendment? Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is, the 16 million for 27, why do we then allow it to drop in half for 28 and not address that?
Senator Cluse.
I have to phone a friend on that one.
Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, the 8 million is what is in statute now, and then it's up to appropriations on how that would adjust each year, so it would be looked at.
Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, but we could change it now if we wished. I'm not going to. It's not that big a deal to me, but I just thought I would ask. I'm still sitting over here trying to figure out if the senator from Shawnee can squeeze a yes out of Mr. No.
Any other comments? Senator Petty.
I don't know the number, but there is a bill in Senate Commerce to do just this, I believe. I guess I could phone a friend too, but there is a bill. out there.
Senator Alley, do you have a bill in commerce, or do you recall? Okay, okay. Other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't quite hear whether or not that yes was squeezed or not, but moving right along, the Ember Hope I'll just read what I have while they're preparing that. So we'd add 250,000 SGF to behavioral health services account, and the following language provide further that expenditures in an amount of not less than 250,000 should be made by the above agency from such account during fiscal year 2027 to provide aftercare services for individuals discharged from Ember Hope's psychiatric residential treatment. And so this, Mr. Chairman, is the same amount as we've previously done, no increase, and there is no other available funding source that I am aware of for this particular need but SGF. And with that, I'll move my motion.
I have a motion. Do we have a second? Senator Clem, seconds. Questions, discussion? Senator Peck. Oh,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll go ahead and ask a question because
okay.
we don't have anything in front of us to look at. So this is formerly one-time spending or not? Because I heard that we have previously done this. Again, there's things I've done in my previous life. I sure wouldn't do them again.
We'll get an answer. Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Senator. Could you repeat your question just so I got distracted?
Senator Peck.
Mr. Chairman, I guess we are getting something handed out. So this is $250,000 state general fund. Okay, well, that answers a lot of the question. One was the amount. Two was where's it coming from. Three, are we going to get this in writing? And then, but my question would be, I'd been told we had done this previously. We had allocated this money previously. When and how many years have we allocated, and has it always been 250? That was several questions in one.
Senator Cluse.
Yes, this was previously given, and like I said earlier, same amount, no increase, and it's something that has to be done annually.
Other questions? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to try to bring one up that's not SGF because my ear's hurting a little over here. It's the Inclusion Connections, belong KC. Mr. Chairman, if it's okay, I'm going to let Senator Klemp run with this one. I guess he had it.
Okay, Senator Clamp.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So there's a request, a recommendation to appropriate 3.5 million in one-time monies from utilizing ARPA for the Inclusion Connection or Belong KC. So to highlight what this would be is for the there's they had a $20 million raise. They've come up to hit a point where they've raised all of it except for $3.5 million. The benefit, what I'd like to just highlight is we'll save taxpayers an average of $1.2 million a year, which is a nice save. And the way they get to that is they do not utilize Medicaid HCBS spending. So anyone that uses their day services, they would not be taking that on, it would not be a Medicaid expense. So that's how they come up with their save. It's nice that they create, living space for 41 apartments and a dining hall, a gym, and other things to create a living experience for folks with IDD. So if you haven't seen their facility and, they have jobs and they do a wonderful job and they stay away from state money. So that would be, the motion would be to request $3.5 million in SGF for the completion of Belong KC housing, utilizing ARPA funds.
Okay, we have a motion, second by Senator Cluse. Discussion. Senator Petty.
To whichever of the senators, I believe, I just want to ask this question. They are at the point where they can actually use these ARPA funds within the time frame that's left.
Senator Clem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My understanding is that is inaccurate. Your interpretation is accurate.
Other questions? Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this ARPA money that we received, the federal money, a lot of it was designated for specific purposes. Is this part that was designated to help with the IDD or any particular disability group, or are we going to go down a road here that could potentially get us in trouble? Sounds like what the maker of the motion said. The ARPA money will be put in SGF, and then the SGF would be used $3.5 million for this. But I want to seek a little clarification.
Senator Clem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The sequence of how the ARPA money and where it goes, I'm not familiar with. We could probably phone a friend on that.
Yes.
However, it does fall within the requirements of the requirements for utilizing ARPA funds.
Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And it's my understanding, too, that they will have shovels in the ground, which makes a difference for that funding.
Project's already been started, so Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay. I'm sorry, every time someone explains something, it adds additional questions. I heard shovels in the ground. Well, that can't be, I don't see how they could spend it. By my understanding, all the ARPA money must be out the door by September 1st. I don't see how this can be accomplished. And I would also wonder, why are we using taxpayer dollars, which once it gets in the state general fund, I call it taxpayer dollars, for something on this nature? So I understand the benefit, and I am sympathetic to the intellectual disability group, crowd, individuals, but I'm just not always comfortable with some of the things that we're proposing.
Senator Clem.
I think those are good questions. I stand with the motion.
Okay. You. Maybe we can get a little more information for you, Senator Peck. Senator Fagg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do we have any other 3.5 million? Is that all we have in this program at this point? Or do we know how much we got besides that? I'm just trying to understand our total.
Senator Clem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think that request was, Senator Cluse may have made that, so we are trying to find out how much is left available. And to answer Senator Peck's question, if we are not able to spend that money, it would be zero versus SG.
We can get your answer here. The question is on the ARPA. Senator Peck, my understanding is the ARPA funds have to be not only allocated, they have to be spent by the last day in December. Okay, and according to however the contracts are worded, as long as they have the check written and out the door, we're in good shape. So that's the parameters. Senator Fagg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The only other question I have, this Belong KC, have we funded any other projects like this in Kansas? Or is this, just wondered?
Senator Clem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Not to my knowledge, this is one of the few in the United States. You have another one out of Arizona that they're self-funded and they don't take Medicaid expenses.
Okay. Other questions? Senator Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to make sure I understand this. Are there ARPA funds available?
I believe there are, yes.
There are. How much do we have left in ARPA funds?
Senator Clem, if you would explain your plan in case there is an issue with ARPA funds, because all the ARPA funds have been spent. So we're just talking that if there's a project that has some left over, that these would be available. So would you mind talking about your plan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In the event there are no ARPA funds available, the dollar amount would be zero. We would not look to pull any money out of SGF. And this is a one-time spend as well, just as an FYI.
So it's basically the ARPA funds are all allocated and basically have been spent on projects, but there could be a project that maybe come under budget that there might be something like that left. Right now, we don't know of any. So,
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Alley.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for that explanation. With that, though, if there are more ARPA funds available, do you have a list of those projects that are waiting in line? I mean, is this going on a list? I don't know. It just sounds like there's a lot of money sitting there.
We will have a list tomorrow, and because I'm not sure this is the first one we've done with ARPA. If ARPA is available, the House has also done a few with if ARPA is available. And so we'll have a list tomorrow.
And we can prioritize that list tomorrow?
Right, so nothing's been prioritized, correct.
Thank you.
Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't want to keep dragging this out, but to the answer for Senator Erickson, were told that all the money's been spent, but there are that good potential. I got that. There's a good potential. It won't all be spent. But my question is, what if it all is all spent? Then what happens with this particular project that we're wanting to use ARPA money for?
Senator Clem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There would be $0 that we would not allocate any dollars to this project.
Senator Peck.
Thank you. That answers my question.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye? Opposed? Motion carries. Senator Cluse, did you have any others?
Yes, I do. This one will be for the crosswinds.
Senator Clues.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just making sure I got a little bit of clarity here. So the motion, I'll make this motion, will be add 4 million in state general fund for community mental health center funding and this serves the uninsured. And this is something that we have done in the past, and the funding would just repeat one-time funding appropriated from last year, so it's the same amount appropriated last year for FY '26, and well, it'd be '27.
That's your motion. We have a second. Senator Fagg seconds. Questions and discussion. Senator Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. While I know that this is a need, it's my understanding that the CMHCs just received part of a $79 million three-state allocation. In addition, we funded them at a rate above other providers, which has been detrimental to those providers. And I will be opposing this proviso. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Other discussion. Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No surprise, probably. This says this funding would repeat the one-time funding. I don't understand how you repeat something you do once, because now it's going to become not one time, but multiple years. So, again, I understand the need. I'm sympathetic, but good grief. We just keep spending and spending. I'm a no. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Clues.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Senator Peck. So it's my understanding that, again, the one time we're bringing it up again, the legislation here, we're bringing this up every year for that continual funding.
Any other discussion? Questions? Senator Fagg? Did you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just wanting to stand in support of this. I think the needs continue to outpace. That's what it says on our list here. I've been around some of those facilities, and I can understand the issues going on there.
Other, Senator Penny.
I support this. Our community mental health centers provide service for everyone, and this specifically would go to cover those costs for the uninsured.
Senator Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I understand the need. However, this is the same organization that was paying their CEO in Southeast Kansas nearly $1 million. And as far as serving everyone, it's come to my attention, and I have verified that there are issues with this group serving our IDD community because of primary versus secondary diagnoses. So they are not necessarily serving everyone. So I just wanted to add that to the conversation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Other comments? Seeing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? No. All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? Passes 5-4. Did you have any others, Senator Clues?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to, if that's all right with you, Senator Klemp is going to introduce a few and then come back to me when I get organized here.
Senator Klemp.
I feel the bus coming. However, Thank you, Mr. Chair. So there is a proviso in regards to Kansas nursing facilities and $175 behavioral health add-on. Can we hand that out, please? So the motion is to add $175 a day add-on rate for Medicaid nursing home residents who qualify for behavioral health add-on plans for 27 and 28. And in the reason, and I'll explain why it needs to be 2 years. And it's a good example of good public policy. It's a 2-year behavioral health add-on of $175 a day, and it provides a few things. Better outcomes for tough patients, population that is hard to care for, severe bipolar, patients that are deemed incompetent, schizophrenia, provides a financial incentive for already struggling nursing homes, which will have a nursing home theme today, and it saves the state money. So when you look at that, it's the reason it has to be a 2-year. There's a 1.5 million per year appropriation for 27 and 28. It takes to be able to qualify for a federal match. It has to be a 2-year program. And from the state, it yields another $2 million in a federal match. The state funded this last year as a pilot program, which caused a little bit of the challenge because it wasn't a 2-year to receive the match. So it didn't get the match. So at the end of the day, the state will have a positive $100,000 save by going this route. And so I move a motion to add $175 a day add-on rate for Medicaid nursing home residents who qualify for a behavioral health add-on plan for 27 and 28.
Motion is second by Senator Fagg. Discussion? Senator Peck?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I understand this, the match. How much money are we talking about potentially total if $175 in all the facilities that have 125 or less residents?
Senator Clinton?
Well, we're asking for 1.5 per million a year, but I think I need to phone a friend on that, sir.
Okay. It's a good deal. No, I don't know much about it either. Any other agency?
Mr. Chair.
Senator Clinton?
They're still looking up the amount that was spent on the program, but it's language only. It was funded in 2026 to add so the language adds the additional years to capture the federal funding.
So it's something currently going on.
It is something currently going on, but we will also get Senator Peck's answer on how much is spent on the program.
Okay, so this is an ongoing program, just extending the dates with the language.
To capture the federal funds. Yes, sir.
Capture the federal funds, okay. Senator Peck,
So did I hear that 2026, fiscal year 26 was the first year?
Senator Clinton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The first year was, the way it was phrased was a,
You have a friend.
let me get the language on that.
Senator Clinton.
We used the term in last year of pilot, so we have to have 2 subsequent years in the project, and it's a spend of 1.5 to get 2.5 million in federal match.
How much you said?
2.5, we spend 1.5 to get 2.5 in the federal
Get
match.
2.5, okay,
And it is an ongoing program.
okay. Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So it sounds like last year was the first year of a one-time program, one-year spend, that now is bleeding into at least 2 more years. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Do you have any others, Senator Klemp or Cluse, for this agency?
I do, yes, sir.
Okay,
So I have one I'd like to bring tomorrow. We'll get clarification on it if
Okay.
that's acceptable. Another KDADS as well, sir.
okay, yeah. And committee, we will have meetings tomorrow and clean up anything that we missed language on. And a couple of members are waiting for their proviso language, so. Senator Clinton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's I'm going to tee up 2, again, nursing facility recommendations. There's add a nursing facility Medicaid capacity payment of 29.3 million, SGF 75 million, all funds.
That's good.
And it's a recommendation that we add Medicaid capacity payment for nursing facilities of $20 per resident per day for fiscal year 27 to the KDAD's budget totaling 29.3 million, SGF 75 million, all funds. The rationale around that is protecting care capacity and keeping homes open. The targeted Medicaid add-ons and rate adjustments in recent years help stabilize providers and slow closures. We do have a nursing home challenge in our state. By 2036, Kansas are projected to have more than 200,000 additional adults age 65 plus, with the fastest growing among those age 85 and older. Most likely those need nursing facility care. So this is one that has been an ongoing expense for the last handful of years, 4 years at least. And I say that, I probably need to verify that. That's what I was told. It's been an ongoing amount. Bottom line, I think there's a strong discussion that we need to have in regards to nursing homes. So, so you have my motion.
Okay, did we have that in writing or not? No, no,
Great, I think we do, yes, sir. Mr. Chair, it looks like we may not have that, and I would be willing to re-bring this back up tomorrow if that works for you.
okay, that'd be fine. We
That's fine.
do
Thanks,
clean up
sir.
tomorrow. I just think the members all would like to,
Yeah, that sounds great. I like to
See
have
what
the
we're voting.
information in front of everybody.
yeah, thank you.
Sir.
Senator Klimt, did you have any other for the Department of Aging Disability Services?
I have a nursing home without walls that I do want to bring tomorrow.
Tomorrow too? Okay, so you have two tomorrow, okay. So you're finished with this category? Okay, so Senator Cluse, do you have any more on this one?
I do. I have one that I will bring tomorrow, waiting for some clarification on it. And, but I got one now. That'll be it for KDADS.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to go ahead and start on this. This is the proviso here. So for FY '27, then this is during fiscal year '27, in addition to other purposes for which expenditures may be made by KDADS. This is dealing with case loads accounts during fiscal year '27 to require frail and elderly waiver program service providers to increase the salaries and wages to a minimum of 31 per hour for services provided to eligible individuals who received the frail elderly level 1 and 2 services. And then in addition, other purpose for the expenditures may be made by KDADS, SGF during the 26th legislative session. Expenditures shall be made by the department from the CAN-CARE non-caseloads account during fiscal year '27 to require physical disabled waiver program services provided to increase the salaries and wages to a minimum of 23 per hour for services provided to eligible individuals who receive physical disabled services pursuant to a waiver, and shall exclude institutional care, self-direct care, and financial management services. And it's my understanding that this is a 40 SGF, which comes about 3.2 million, and 60% on the federal side, 8.1 million on that. With that, I'll move that motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Senator Bag seconds. Questions? Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we were not provided information. What is the current hourly rate for these two levels? Would be my first question. Do we know how much we're bumping it up?
Senator Cluse.
I believe it was in from 19 to 23.
Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So from 19 to 23, but the top level of $31, what is it currently?
Senator Clues.
Can you repeat that, Senator?
Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The top paragraph says that there'll be an increase in salaries and wages to a minimum of $31 per hour. That's the top paragraph. And I'm asking what it is currently.
Senator Clues.
Thank you,
Senator
Senator.
Clues.
Thank you. So it's from 2732 to 31 in that top paragraph. Currently 2732.
Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that answer. My last question on this particular proviso, could this not be done by the agency without us specifying in the budget bill?
Senator Clues. Senator Clues. No, that's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, we're going to have to look into that. They're not comfortable to give an answer quite yet on that, so we may have to hold this till tomorrow if we don't get one.
So Senator, you want to just wait and do this tomorrow? Okay. Okay. So did you have any others? Do you have two for tomorrow? Okay. Senator Klemp, you were done? Oh, for this? Okay. And Senator Owens? Anyone else? Senator Petty?
Well, I'll just go ahead and I'll hold mine till tomorrow as well.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, we're going to move on to Department of Children and Families. Any provisos on children and families? Senator Alley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a proviso to add back in for year 2 of the Guided Independent Living Assessment Program, which is hosted by the Cerebral Palsy Research Foundation of Kansas. And this program assists the young adults with disabilities to assess how they're living independently. And this program is working with WSU to track and measure the outcomes. Early results have said they've been extremely positive for the individuals with the family. I toured this facility, and these individuals are living independently. Some of them have jobs, and they're doing a great job with that. So I would move that we add $215,000 for year 2 of the Guided Independent Living Assessment Program.
Seconded by Senator Peterson. Questions or discussion? Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Anyone else have anything for Department of Children and Families? Not sure. Senator Petty.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have one. Dental.
Senator Petty.
So this is to add $6 million to bring up the Medicaid reimbursement rate for dental services. This is an add only, so staff didn't print it up. This would support the reimbursement for the Kansas Medicaid program. You probably heard earlier in the session from some of your dental Medicaid providers that the Medicaid rate is so underfunded that they cannot even pay for the staff, for their, maintain their facilities and the staff that they have to provide those services for those clients that have Medicaid. So it would be a $6 million add-on to that current program.
Senator Petty, would you mind doing that tomorrow when you have something for everyone for a $6 million add-on?
I'll be glad to, however, I. There's no language with this one, it would just go into an account. So that's why there's no language advisors, is because there's not any sort of language that goes in the bill, it's just adding $6 million to the Medicaid add-on rates for dental rates. So it would go into other medical assistance, it's just a funding change, there's no language for it. And that's why revisers don't have a language. We're current, so the question is about why there wouldn't be any language is because we do have a current reimbursement rate for medical services, but it's very underfunded, and this would add $6 million. So that's why there is no printout for that from staff.
We're on children and families.
Okay, I withdraw that, sorry.
Anyone else have anything for children and families? Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and this is for JAG.
Well, we're on Department of Children and Families. I'm not sure if it's ks or DCF. I have no clue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This will come out of the TANF fund, and it will provide additional expenditure in amount of not less than $376,000 shall be made by the above agency for such funding during fiscal year 2027 for Jobs for America's Graduates Kansas, and this would restore the 2019 amount of $5,754,481 by increasing this $376,040. So that would be the motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Senator Alley seconds. Questions or discussions? Senator Petty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Senator Cluse, is this an increase or is this a continuation of those funds coming from TANF for JAG?
Senator Cluse. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my understanding it's an increase to 376,040 above what they had originally in 2019.
Other questions? Seeing no other questions, all in favor, aye. Opposed? Okay,
Yeah, so,
Senator Cluse.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. This would be a one-time ad.
Okay, so we have one-time ad. We had a motion by Senator Cluse, second by Senator Alley. All in favor of this, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any other provisos for Department of Children and Families? Senator Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have proviso while it's being handed out. Mr. Chair, while it's being handed out, I'll just make this very simple. Last session, we passed a bill that directed the Secretary of DCF to submit a waiver to the USDA to exempt pop and candy from SNAP benefits. That has still not been done, in spite of 18 states having submitted the waiver, had it approved, and implemented this in less than a year. We still have not even had our waiver approved. It's been 9 months. And so this would simply say, until that waiver is approved and implemented, we will withhold summer EBT. With that, I'll stand for questions.
That's your motion, Senator.
That is my motion.
Okay. Do we have a second? Senator Peck seconds. Discussion and questions. Senator Clem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Senator. I was curious, I asked a similar question to to the governor's office. And what came back was they're pushing and they're not getting a response from the federal government. I feel like that may not have been as accurate as it probably could have been, but I was curious do we know where the cog in the wheel is in this process?
Senator Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, we do, and it's in the way that our department is wanting to define candy, which has been an issue. But if you look at all of the other states, I mean, Colorado has a much broader definition of candy. Anything with a sweetener in it is considered candy. So this, I think, will just expedite the process and ensure that this waiver, the intent of the legislature, is put into place.
Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I kind of wanted to join the cool kids at the yes table, so I seconded this, and I'll be voting yes.
Other questions, Senator Petty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, we've submitted a waiver. It hasn't been approved. And so because it hasn't been approved by the federal government, we are going to tie that implementation to our summer food program, which means no children in the state of Kansas that qualify would be able to get food during the summer when school is out. Again, this doesn't make sense. We're feeding our children to the fact that the federal government has not followed through with approving the SNAP waiver. Now, if the waiver hadn't been submitted, and as the Senator Erickson mentioned, it has been submitted, and I think it's short-sighted to blame our secretary for the fact that the federal government is not moving ahead with approving our waiver. So this is poor legislation. This is a poor proviso, and it's feeding our children to approval of a waiver that has been submitted. So it's the federal government that are short-sighted. If we want to have a proviso, then maybe we should have one that's a letter to the federal government saying, move ahead on this faster, please. But I'm against this.
Senator Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 18 states have submitted a waiver. Colorado had theirs approved in 3 months, Oklahoma in 2 months. Obviously, the problem is not with the federal government approving waivers. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Other questions? Seeing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carries. Any other provisos for Department of Children and Families? Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, if we could get that proviso out. So this would be a $1 million appropriation from TANF, ending balance to Kansas Big Brothers and Big Sisters. And we did have a one-time funding in 2026 for them for $300,000. And we heard from the public testimony on this that they're continuing to serve, and their current caseload's about 2,000 youth. And they're trying to get that wait list down as well to help these kids. And this has been a program, Big Brothers Big Sisters, been around for some time. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll move my motion.
Got a motion, we have a second? Senator Fagg seconds. Questions? Senator Fagg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I see where it talks about temporary assistance for needy family federal fund. Do we get any federal matching on this kind of thing, or is this all state funded?
No, this is all federal. That's where it comes.
Oh, this is all federal. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I want to make sure.
Other questions? Seeing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Anyone else have anything for children and families? Senator Petty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have one dealing with SNAP. Oh, okay. So if you look, you can see this is a state general funds of 1.6 million. As we have heard in committee, and probably you've heard in other committees, about the fact that as part of the One Big Beautiful Bill that was passed this summer, our SNAP funding will be, can be lessened if our error rate is above 6% or 6% or above. So the Department of Children and Families are working very hard to lower that error rate. You also are probably familiar with the fact that this is a 44-page application that a person has to fill out to be eligible for SNAP. And so there's plenty of opportunities for error, either on the part of the applicant or on the technician going over the application. So one of the things that the Department of Children and Family has looked into is technology that will catch those errors on both the applicant side and on the technician side as well, which could, so it's $1.6 million, but that also would alleviate the loss of, I'm trying to remember the amount of money, $40 million. So I don't know, it seems like a pretty wise investment. 1.6 that could save us from having to lose $40 million, but we would still have those people that have will deserve SNAP benefits. So that's what this does. It covers that puts in that 1.6 million to pay for the, as you can see, technology. I'll stand for any questions.
That's your motion?
That's my motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Senator Holscher seconds. Discussion question. Senator Fagg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I stand in strong support of that. The 40 million part of it, the technology updates that need to be done with that. We know we got a SNAP problem. So I think we're trying to be proactive in what we're doing here.
Other questions? Discussion. Senator Owens.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, I wanted to add maybe just a little bit of context from our subcommittee work on this topic. The agency reported requesting about, I believe it was the same amount, 1.6 million in 26 for software, 1.6 in 27, as well as about 20-ish million to take over the 50 to 75% administration costs. But here's fundamentally, I suppose, where we see things a little bit differently as it relates to SNAP. I think this is an incredibly important program. However, our current administration is willing to forego $10.4 million every quarter in SNAP benefits for not turning over the data that the federal government has required. And so if somehow or another we can justify letting go of $40 million in SNAP benefits for not turning over said data, then I do not understand why we need to appropriate additional money to SNAP to make up for those shortfalls. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Other, Senator Alley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question on that. Is it my understanding that in March, it's another $10 million?
Senator Owens.
That is my understanding, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Petty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do believe that we have not actually, there has been no money that has been lost at this point. And that particular issue is in court, not that we're not part of that court case, but we would be impacted by it. I guess we can always muddy the water by putting everything in the same bucket. This is talking about, this is specifically dealing with, and we hold the purse strings and we will be paying for it if we don't look at how we can address better way to go about having less errors on the applicants. And we're not alone. Most states, I think it's 33 states, are in the same boat as we are. So it's not like this is a one, Kansas is standing alone. We are with the majority of states when it comes to this error rate and the potential loss of federal dollars. So this 1.6 addresses that. Talking about something else with SNAP is another issue. It is not this issue. We could talk about that a long time, and I could talk about it more, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick to the facts. Yesterday, we put in the budget, we put in funding for technology for the Highway Patrol, almost to this amount, because they needed that, and we thought it was important for the Highway Patrol. That's not to bring in any federal funding, as this would. So this is helping to guarantee that we don't lose $40 million and that we do help improve our error rate so that we do not get that penalty that was put in place with the One Big Beautiful Bill. So I'm going to stick to the proviso that I have in front of you that's important for us to get to continue to get the federal dollars that we deserve.
Senator Peterson.
Thank you. Would this be obtained through the standard procurement and RFP process?
Senator Petty.
I'm sure that the Department of Children and Families has to deal with procurement just as any other department does.
Excellent. I think I support this. Thank you.
Other questions? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All those in favor, raise your hand. 4, okay, all against? 6, fails. Any more provisos for the Department for Children and Families? Senator Petty.
Yes. Okay, so this is an add-only, so there's no language with it. It has to do with the SNAP administrative fee funding. As you're well aware, under the One Big Beautiful Bill, it changed how SNAP is paid for administratively. Prior to the One Big Beautiful Bill passing, it was 50-50, and now it's 75-20. That the states picks up 75%. The state picks up 75%. The feds 25%. So that increases our administrative costs for administrating SNAP benefits to 12.1 million. And so my proviso would be putting $12.1 million SGF into our budget in 27.
That's your motion?
Yes, that's my motion.
Have a second? Senator Holscher, seconds. Senator Fagg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I stand in strong support of this. The One Big Beautiful Bill took to where it was a 50-50 match between state and federal. Now it's 75-25. So we're just covering what the state or the federal government cut us off of. So this additional 12 million must be included for FY27 DCF budget to cover the federal cost shift. So that's what's going on with this deal. So.
Other questions or comments? Senator Owens.
I will hold short of repeating exactly what I said the last proviso that deals with this, but just remember the number 10.4 million per quarter. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions or discussions? Senator Petty.
And just remember, we have not paid any penalty, even though someone's saying that. So we will, it's not going to change the federal law change under the One Big Beautiful Bill. So, we are being impacted by our federal government changing the responsibility for administration of SNAP from a 50-50 to now we have to pay 75% of it. We don't have any control over that. We have to do it as a state. It's going to cost $12.1 million more a year to administrate SNAP benefits. I will say that other bodies have shown their wisdom that they think that this is important to fund because it's there. We have to pay for it. Department of Children and Families that oversees the SNAP program, there's no other way for it to come out of their budget. So it's $12.1 million more a year. We're not going to change that. And you have constituents, and I have constituents too, that have SNAP benefits and will continue to have SNAP benefits. So this helps to make sure that program is run smoothly. Goes along kind of with my last motion. We want to have good administration and have these programs run well, then we need to fund them. And they're benefiting our citizens and our state, because this isn't just people getting food, it's then they are actually, using there's not benefits in your community in mind, which also grows business as well. So I move my amendment for the 12.1 SGF.
Any other questions or discussion? Senator Clinton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To support Senator Owens' comments, I do feel like there is a lack of accountability. So we've probably spent enough in legal fees arguing the 10 million hit that could have paid for the software, but I'll stay focused on point. So I do feel like there is an absolute need for the funding of the 12 million, but I feel that this lack of accountability of we continue to have SNAP that continues to go up, more people, and we don't have any real roadmap for highlighting and celebrating the successes of people coming off SNAP. So I do feel this is unfortunately, a need that I will be supporting this amendment.
Other questions? Senator Owens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hate to belabor the point, but I'm going to make a substitute motion that we fund the $12.1 million as requested in this proviso once the administration provides the data as requested by the federal government.
So we have a substitute motion by Senator Owens, a second by Senator Erickson. Discussion on the secondary motion. Senator Petty.
Could the maker of the substitute motion say it again, please?
I would be happy to.
Senator Owens.
So I would make the substitute motion that we fund, I believe your number was $12.1 million for the administrative overages once and if the current administration provides the data that has been requested by the federal government. I believe that this squarely puts it back on the administration that if this money is truly needed to fund the SNAP program, that they can provide the information requested and receive that funding.
Other questions? Senator Petty.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I just want to correct something. No money has been spent. We are not part of a court case, so there's no funds that have been spent, unless somebody has some different information than I do. So no dollars out the door. We, making the department justify why they need $12.1 million when the federal government changed the law for the amount of administrative fees that we have to pay means that I'm sorry that we have a math problem here. If it went from being 50-50 to now being 75-25, that's it. We have to pay 25% more to run the program. That's a $12.1 million cost. Not due to the agency, not due to the increase of people getting SNAP benefits, but due to the federal government changing the law that SNAP functions under. Again, this should not be tied to a decision. When we talk about releasing data, I am in the midst of a party that the majority here in the legislature, up until just recently, was very much focused on the importance of protecting personal data. And I find it interesting that suddenly we aren't the protectors of people's personal data, if a organization's asked for it, that it should be released. And we have a cell phone bill and Senate Education. We've talked about how important it is that our children be protected. We have legislation dealing with seniors. They're losing money. Frauds come about because people are stealing their data, and yet we want our Department of Children and Family to release data on not just a person who has applied for a SNAP benefit, but anyone in that household, not somebody who's applied for it, but anyone in the household. So we're talking about hundreds of thousands of Kansans that we think that someone thinks that the federal government should have access to their personal information, vital personal information. I find that an infringement I think we should all be working about the infringement on the rights of our citizens. And so I just really think we need to think about how important it is protecting our personal data to us. And when we look at legislation and say that it's important for our seniors, it's important for our children, it's important that businesses don't share it, but yet we want our agency to do that without knowing where it's going to go, how it's going to be used. It's an abuse of our citizens' rights, and not just someone who's applied for SNAP benefits. It's anybody in that household. So I'm opposed to the substitute amendment.
Senator Holscher.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I mean, the fact of the matter is the release of SNAP data is illegal, whether we like it or not. We're talking about things kind of outside of our control here in terms of federal changes, again, releasing of that data being illegal. But we have the ability to take care of things that are within our control. And the fact of the matter is, we have this change in the funding that we have to deal with to continue the administration of this program. So I do not support this substitute motion in terms of the fact it's tying together two separate issues, one of which undoubtedly we have no control over. Let's deal with the heart of the issue and what we can control and fund this agency.
Senator Owens.
Just a final thought, Mr. Chairman. I certainly wish we felt the same way about this as we did back in COVID when we were divulging all sorts of information to the federal government over who's getting vaccinated and whether we can go to church on Sunday. So with that, I move my motion.
Other questions? Senator Fagg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would beg the committee to understand that this isn't a Democrat or Republican thing. This is administrative costs, which is $12 million, and we have a lot of federal money involved with this. We let the court system take care of the other part, but we need to stick with our business here and make sure that this gets done properly. And so I'm going to be against the motion here.
Other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed?
No.
Ayes appear to have it. Ayes have it. Anyone else have any provisos for the Department of Children and Families? Okay, we're going to move on to the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. Health. Anyone have any adjustments for this one? Seeing none, we will move on to, Senator Peterson.
One proviso on CPR and AEDs. And another one I have is technical.
Okay, I think what we're going to do, we're going to take let's take a 10-minute break for everyone. Take a restroom break. So we're going to pause for 10 minutes and take a recess. So we're recessed until 1 o'clock. Senator Owens, you had something you'd like to say?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to add, based on a comment that we heard about the SNAP data a few minutes ago, I think it's worth publicly noting that 28 states and Guam have complied with the federal government's request to submit that data. So there are 23 states that have resisted or chosen not to in some way. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, now we're going to start on the Department of Labor. Senator Peterson.
Mine's for Department of Health and Environment Health.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. KDHE Health. Senator Peterson.
Thank you. This is a CPR AED grant. You may remember them from the floor last year. We were working on this. What it does is it adds SGF. That's hard, I know, but he can still be a cool kid. To $250,000 to be made to provide school districts for instruction in cardiopulmonary resuscitation and AEDs to the health education curriculum in kindergarten through any of the grades through K-12. Further, it provides that an amount not less than $1 million be made by the agency during the fiscal year 27 to provide grants for school districts for the purchase of AEDs and necessary maintenance equipment. And provided further, expenditures made not less than $250,000 shall be made by the agency during 2027 to provide grants to religious or charitable organizations or library or tribal entity that has a cardiac emergency response plan. Such plan is approved by the agency for the purchase of automated defibrillators and necessary maintenance equipment. We learned in utilities this year that there's over 350,000 out of hospital cardiac events in our state every year. And that 41% of our state doesn't have dispatchers that are trained in telecommunications for transmitting CPR instructions. So this is very important. With that, that's the proviso.
It's your motion.
That's a motion.
Okay, we have a motion second by Senator Fagg. Any questions or discussions? Senator Petty.
Senator Peterson, did we have funding in last year's budget for defibrillators?
Senator Peterson.
Yes, we did, but I took it out of the Safe and Secure Schools from the Attorney General's office.
Other questions? Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the question would be, because of what Senator just said, it's not this year being taken out of Safe and Secure Schools. Is that correct?
Senator Peterson.
It is correct.
Other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Senator Peterson, you had two.
Last year, you might recall, we added in $263,000 for the Cerebral Palsy Foundation's posture seating program. Well, apparently it got put on the wrong line for the one-time spending in 2026, and it didn't get appropriated. This is kind of correcting that, and it adds it in out of SGF for 2027.
How much was that, Senator Peterson?
$263,000.
263. Okay, is that your motion?
That's my motion.
We have a motion. We have a second by Senator Fagg. Any question or discussion? Senator Petty?
So this is a direct request from the Cerebral Palsy Association, and is that for seating?
Yeah,
Senator Peterson?
the wheelchairs. It helps them prevent from getting the medical the sores, the pressure wounds, and all that.
Other questions? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Senator Peterson, did you have any others?
Oh, thank you.
Did anyone else have anything else on Kansas Department of Health and Environment Health? Seeing none, we will move on. Oh, sorry. Senator Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have one. Apparently, they don't have copies ready, Mr. Chair, so I can wait or just Orally, however you want to proceed.
Yeah, if you want to do it orally, and if someone wants to wait for the copies, then we'll wait till tomorrow, but whatever you want to do.
We can wait for the copies. I think the committee does prefer to have paper in front, so we will just wait. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so we'll have one for you tomorrow then. Okay, thank you. Anything else on Kansas Department of Health and Environment Health? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to Department of Labor. Did anyone have anything on Department of Labor? Seeing none, we're going to move on to Kansas Guardianship Program. Any changes there? Seeing none, we'll proceed to Office of Child Advocate. Any changes there? Seeing none, we will move on to Kansas Office of Veterans Services. Any, Senator Peck?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do not have things ready today, so I'm not saying skip over this, just making you aware.
So you'll have one tomorrow for the Veteran Services? Okay. Anyone else have anything on the Office of Child Advocate? Is that the one you have, Senator Peck? I said veterans, but the advocate's the one you was talking about, or veterans? Veterans, okay. Anyone else have anything on the Office of Veteran Services? Seeing none, we will move on. We'll start out with the Higher Education Board of Regents. Changes on the Board of Regents? Seeing no changes, we'll go to Emporia State. Did anyone have any changes for Emporia State? Okay, we'll move on to Fort Hays State. Any provisos? Move on to Kansas State University. Senator Owens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a proviso as it relates to Kansas State University. I believe, do the revisers have a copy of that? I will describe it while they're looking through their files. Long story short, in Senate Bill 125, page 267 from last year, we gave Kansas State University Veterinary Medical Center bonding authority up to $128 million. And so we gave them all of the authority required to bond it out. But as I have been informed, we failed to provide for the debt service in 26 for that to occur. And so there is a proviso language. If they do not have that ready, then I can bring this up again tomorrow. Because they're printing it. So come back to me once it's printed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, anyone else have anything on Kansas State University?
I'm being told from behind me, Mr. Chairman, that it's just the 11 million SGF and you don't need the language.
Is that your motion?
Mr. Chairman, it is my motion that we add debt service for the Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory in the amount of $11 million, and to again clarify that this was just an overstatement from last year.
We have a motion, we have a second. Senator Fagg seconds. Questions on bonding? Senator Fagg.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to stay in full support of what Senator Owens is doing there. I've researched that, and that's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Any other comments? Senator Peck.
Mr. Chairman, so we authorized bonding authority last session, if I heard correct, and is it already time to make a payment on that? Have they expended the funds?
Senator Owens.
It is my understanding that in 2027, and that's what we just got the language, this is for 2027, that there, excuse me, this is for 27 budget year, is that correct? Make sure. A lot of numbers floating around in my head, Mr. Chairman, so I just want to make sure what I'm stating is correct. But yes, this is for the 2027 budget year.
Other questions? Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That answers the question. I didn't support the bonding, but I guess it's already been done and accomplished. And so we've got an obligation to pay our bills. I don't like this at all, and I would really like to be a no, because that's just a lot more fun, because everybody looks at it, but, no, I'm kidding. But in any event, $11 million that we're spending this year, we're going to spend every year going forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else for Kansas State University? Moving on to Kansas State University ESARP. Any changes for their budget? Moving on to Kansas State University Veterinary Medical Center. Any changes? Moving on to the University of Kansas. Changes to the University of Kansas. Senator Clem? Yeah, we're on medical, yes. Senator Clem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I have a proviso to add 5 million SGF for the Alzheimer's research. Can we hand that out, please?
Senator, it's not SGF. Well, okay.
Yes, I'll
Okay.
get to that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
So while it's
Senator Clem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The expenditures so we're looking to add $5 million for Alzheimer's research and require reporting on the expenditure by the end of fiscal year 2027. It's made the expenditure, so National Institute of, the $5 million will go to the National Institute of Health Alzheimer's Research Center. The funds will actually come from 4.2 million from expanded lottery revenue funds as those get transferred back. There's also $100,000 from KCC, the Public Service Regulation Fund, and an additional 1.1 million from the Board of Regents transferred for payroll adjustment account. So all of those will be outside of the SGF, current funding in SGF. And I think we had Dr. Burns come in and talk about the need for supporting rural health, our hospitals out in rural healthcare in rural Kansas. And I think this is one of those few things that goes above and beyond from a state perspective to a global perspective on the advancements in Alzheimer's, dementia, and mental health. And I would just say this is the things we should be spending funding on. And we found a way to get some funding for this that doesn't ping the SGF account. So I move a motion to add or to provide $5 million to the National Health Institute Alzheimer's Research Center.
We have a motion, second by Senator Alley. Questions and discussion. Senator Petty.
Thank you very much. And yes, I thought the presentation by Dr. Burns was exciting about what our Alzheimer's Research Center at KU is doing and the advancements that are being made and the impact that it had as we were looking at adding funding to our elderly populations for the nursing homes. This is a way to hopefully help keep them out. But I did want to ask a question when it says from expanded lottery funds. So we have a proviso that changes that 8 million to 16 million a year. Would this be coming from that other 25% of that lottery funds that, I mean, 75% is going to the clubhouse model, but is this coming then from that 25%?
Senator Clem.
Let me check on that. Good question.
Senator Clem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The 4.2 from the expanded lottery fund is just a transfer back. So it has nothing to do with the account that you were talking about. So I think it's if I could add one more bit of color, you think about the ability of rural hospitals to have a way to do some additional billing. It's a nice opportunity for rural hospitals, not under the University of Kansas brand, but under the rural hospital brand to drive more work, more billings out there that in those hospitals where revenue is needed. So thank you, sir.
Senator, would you like to make your motion? Oh, we did, excuse me. Other questions? Seeing no other questions, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Senator Clem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In addition, the University of Kansas hospital system has also looked at priorities and has found an opportunity from how they were looking at it for the energy development projects. And I do feel they're comfortable extracting out $5 million out and not taking on that project this year. So I think they're balancing the needs and community needs, and they weighted the Alzheimer dementia mental health issue as a higher priority. So they're willing to step away from the $5 million. So we can extract that out of SGF.
Correct, thank you, and we'll look at that next year. I think that the way I understood it was that the dementia was way more important than the other project, and so they agreed to forego that project this year so we could get funding for dementia. Thank you. Other changes for the University of Kansas Medical Center. Moving on, Pittsburgh State University. Any changes on Pittsburgh State? Moving on, Wichita State University. Senator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When we heard the Budget Committee report, there was an add of $5 million state general fund money for ongoing funding for aviation research. And then they did one good thing. If we are going to do this, add language requiring a report. However, we just heard that there are some innovative ways. If we're going to have funding such as this, aviation is important to the state of Kansas, but it is not the #1 industry in the state of Kansas. That would be agriculture. So I don't know that we need, and then I realized later after the fact that there's also $5 million in a couple other places that we'll probably look at tomorrow. But I would just make a motion. I don't know why we're paying a university, and funds go to Boeing, my understanding, for this research. So it's state general fund money, it's taxpayer money. I'm just going to make a motion to see if we can save $5 million of state general fund by deleting that #1 on page, whatever it is, of the Budget Committee report. But in any event, it's the $5 million, page 5 of the Budget Committee report for the ongoing funding, which sounds like we've been doing this for a while, but doesn't mean that it's something we've got to keep doing. So that would be my motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion dies because of no second. Anything else on Wichita State University? One thing I will mention on Wichita State, they also had a $5 million ask for an enhancement. And after visiting with them, after we in our committee had extended the sunset, they said that they did not need that. So we won't need to address that because of the sunset that was extended. Committee, any other questions or business? Thank you all. So tomorrow we will have cleanup. So any of the provisos that we didn't have the paperwork on today, we'll address them tomorrow. So we are adjourned. Thank you for being here late.